and I know Bela Lugosi's dead, but that's about it.
For sure. Yeah. Okay. Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Trillionaire Meeting number 2, and we're here with Rocky Angel. He's a cosmic performing artist, and yeah, really, really interesting guy. I'm glad to get you here to do this podcast with me. How you doing today, Rocky?
Good. Thank you for the opportunity.
It's all good. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, it's pretty strange times right now with this coronavirus pandemic, and I know for me it's been a little tough to find inspiration and stuff like that. So, have you been able to get inspired to like do artwork or just be creative right now?
I've been doing some. It makes it a little more difficult to let the mind wander and come up with random ideas. But yeah, I've been able to just work on some things.
Okay. How do you normally find inspiration?
It comes from different places. Sometimes while I'm awake, sometimes while I'm asleep, and
Yeah, for sure.
sometimes I'll see a scene and know I have something there, but I have to change a few things in my head before I arrive at something.
Okay. Yeah, that's super, super cool. So yeah, I noticed that through your art and just even you as a person, you seem really, really self-aware. Like and I know it takes a different level of confidence to like walk around in nude and things like that. And like what made you decide to do that, or how did you get that self-awareness?
It's just something that sort of came to me. I mean, I had little episodes of it here and there years ago, but then I started doing it more often, and it just came to be a thing and part of my art,
That's
just
super, super cool.
everyday life.
Okay, so how do people like normally react when they see you out and about?
Mostly positive, or some times with amusement, and a lot of times there's no reaction at all, which is fine too.
Okay, yeah, that's super, super cool.
Okay.
So yeah, I watched Sun Ra's the one where they filmed some of the parts in Oakland in '74.
Oh yeah, Space is a Place. That's a good movie.
Yeah, it was really, really interesting to watch, and I find them very interesting too. Like I really, really like his song Retrospect. And
Yeah, special starting tonight at 10, and I listen every year and download the MP3s.
Yeah, that's super, super cool. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Yeah, so what's your favorite songs by Sun Ra?
Space Probe,
Okay.
Discipline 2711, Enlightenment. Uh, there's a Yeah, mostly like, especially like the stuff when he first started experimenting and playing with the mood. I mean, the earlier, more traditional stuff is good too, but I really like the stuff from that era.
Okay. Yeah, that guy's a straight musical genius. Like he was I know his
Yeah,
earlier stuff was really, really structured, but like later down the line, it just kind of went like free, just like what exactly is music, you know.
yeah,
And I
and
really,
like
really
not
like that
only
about him.
the music, but the poetry and lectures. Yeah, there's one lecture in last year's special. All they said was from 1979, but it was about 2 hours long, and I really got a lot from it.
Okay, I haven't saw that one.
Yeah, trying about up by myself. I think he might be the most prolific artist, not only in jazz but in any genre.
Yeah, for sure. And I really, really like what he says about like everything that we need comes from space.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And he also made me like think about what sound would sound like on Saturn, because he talks about being from Saturn and stuff like
oh
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and he didn't get scrutinized for it the way, say, like a scientist might.
yeah, yeah. That's really, really cool.
Yeah,
So yeah, I like looked at your artwork. It was it's even crazy the way I ran into your artwork. Uh, and that's another thing, just like being open and things like that. That was around the time where I just started to be open, and I was just saying like just making decisions to like let new possibilities and stuff came to like come to me. And I was going to a show with my friend Chris Davidson. It was downstairs and I missed it by a little bit, but a young lady told me that there was an art gallery going on upstairs, so I came up there and I checked it out, and I saw all of this really, really interesting artwork. And yeah, that's where I met you at. Yeah, down in
Yes.
downtown Oakland.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
decent place.
Yeah, it was really, really cool though. It was like a few young ladies and stuff up there, and it was at first it was a little I remember feeling like a little I don't think uncomfortable or weird is the word for it, but I was like having a conversation with a girl, and there was like a picture of a naked baby behind us.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was like an
yeah.
interesting thing to be in, and I noticed a lot of your artwork is
The one with a cross smashing the globe in his hand.
mhm.
Yeah, that's right over there.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So I noticed your stuff has a lot of like nudity in it, and also it has like a religious sort of undertone. Like I see a lot of crosses, and
Yeah.
I saw one with like a the priest. There was a guy like in the confessions.
Oh, on the website. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's from about the same era as the one with the baby. Yeah, that one. Yeah, I sold that one a while back to an artist friend.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. So
Thanks.
did you grow up in a religious sort of situation, like as a
Yes,
kid? Okay,
yes, Roman Catholic.
okay. Yeah, I grew up pretty. I grew up Christian strict, and growing up in it, did you kind of feel rebellious towards it?
Not right away. I was totally with it for a while, but it really wasn't working out. And that's when I started to get rebellious. I kind of walked away from it.
For sure. Did you like walk away from it and then sort of backpedal back into it at some point?
No, I just basically finished out my days at a Catholic high school, and that was it.
Okay,
It was really towards, yeah, it was before there was still a couple years of it left after I had already decided to leave.
that's super, super cool. Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, I remember. I think it was like later towards high school. I remember being really, really like upset about the way I grew up and everything. Like super Christian and Catholic, but not a Catholic. I mean, like super Christian. It was like non-denominational, but
Oh,
like Baptist and stuff like that, and like Pentecostal Church of God in Christ. But sort of started to branch into a bunch of other things. Like I even studied a little bit of Satanism.
oh, yeah, I do too.
Yeah. And yeah, I saw some of the symbolism in it, and just wanted to get your thoughts on it. Like did you like study like Anton LaVey,
Yes,
that sort of things? Okay.
yeah, I read the Satanic Bible.
Yeah, what do you think about that stuff as opposed to like the Christian way?
I agree with some of it, but I don't think that. I mean, it's very practical for like day to day living, and it allows like to get impulses and out in the most harmless way possible. But at the same time, I don't feel that being atheistic should be a requirement for it
Okay.
because LaVey was.
He was an atheist?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that about him. I
Yeah,
thought
he didn't believe there really was a God or a Satan. Devil.
okay. That's really, really interesting.
Yeah, he thought of it more of as an idea.
Okay. Yeah, I do like what he I read one thing about him where he was talking about instead of uh not indulging in the seven deadly sins to indulge in them.
Yes.
And I thought that was really interesting. Like what he talked about with like even like buying a pair of shoes, like buying a pair of shoes for something other than just needing a pair of shoes
Right.
is pride.
Yeah.
And how like even looking at somebody and saying uh like that's a nice hat, it's a little bit of envy.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a compliment. Yeah, because those things really can be taken that far.
Yeah,
Those ideas.
yeah, for sure. Is there any other like seven deadly sins that is a little hard to avoid, you think?
Um, Gluttony and lust and pride.
Yeah. Yeah, pride is that's a pretty interesting one right there.
Yeah, because a certain amount of it is good, or even a certain amount of narcissism, just enough to have the confidence and not let someone walk all over. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's really really
because
cool.
there are a lot of manipulative types out there in religion.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Do you are you into like crowds at all, like crowd psychology and things like that?
What kind of psychology?
Crowd, like groups of people.
Oh, not particularly. I don't really know much about it. But
Okay. Yeah, I got really really interested in how people like Hitler or Martin Luther King, anybody, it can be negative or positive, are able to get a large crowd of people to kind of follow behind them.
oh yeah, like public speaking.
Hmm.
So yeah, I've heard that like using the hands and gestures is part of it.
Hmm. Yeah, I got really, really interested in that stuff, and like that led to do you remember Jim Jones?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have one of his business cards from when he was housing commissioner of San Francisco.
Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, that's
uh,
really crazy. Yeah, I wasn't even born around that time. I just read stories and stuff, and I hear my parents talking about it. But were you around for that?
I wasn't around the area, not around California. No,
Okay,
I just like heard about him.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that has to be like that has to even be crazy to even see on the news right there.
yeah. I
Yeah,
guess yeah. A lot of the people from that church are buried in Oakland.
yeah, for sure. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, super, super crazy. But yeah, I got into just kind of wondering how things like that could happen. And
yeah,
it seems like there's a certain kind of people that follow behind people like that. And would you
yeah.
say that those are people that without pride or with a low amount of pride?
Sometimes with the low amount of pride, but I heard in one recent TV special that a lot of times they have more intelligence than they get credit for. They're just like looking for a sense of belonging or something to belong to.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's one where they talked about Jim Jones, Marshall Applewhite, Charles Manson.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And it's almost like a pimp hoe mentality to it too. It's
Yeah,
yeah. Like
except not always as visible unless they're trying to recruit new members.
mhm. Yeah, it's what would I say? Like would you say like something maybe uh crazy happened to people that go for that stuff? Maybe like at a young
Could be.
age?
Or whatever they were doing before just wasn't working for them. I don't know. So I suppose it's different for a lot of people. And sometimes I guess it kind of morphs, the church itself morphs along the way. Like Jim Jones, the People's Temple changed along the way. And I heard that I think the Process Church has even morphed into an animal shelter now.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. That's super, super cool. So on the art side, are you into design at all? Like designing maybe furniture or technology or maybe designing a house?
I'm not very good at working in 3 dimensions, like even stuff like sculpture, but I design stuff like I've designed stuff like logos and whatnot before
Okay.
for business
What's
cards and things,
okay.
websites.
What's your stand on art and design? Like would you say that they're the same thing or would you say they're different?
I'd say there's similarities, definitely a lot of overlapping area.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Because I was reading a little thing. It was like art versus design, and there was Dieter Rams.
There was what?
His name is Dieter Rams.
Oh,
And let me see.
I think so. Sometimes that might be pronounced Dieter. I'm not sure.
Dieter. Okay. So let me see. I'm going.
I know it's spelled like Dieter.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I see the Google homepage.
Okay. Let me see. You put this out right here. There we go. So yeah, this guy had this pretty interesting 10 timeless like design things, and I was kind of wondering like which side to lean more towards, because I know art is like pretty much free flow, and but design is more structured and mathematical.
Oh, okay. If that's the main dividing line, then I'm definitely more comfortable on the art side, even though I am good at least math or at least pure math.
Okay, that's really really cool. So yeah, this is yeah. Let me see. It's innovative, makes a product useful, aesthetic, makes a product understandable. It's honest. It's long lasting. It's down to the last. It's thorough down to the last detail. It's environmentally friendly.
He's
Involves as little design as possible.
talking about a way that something that has to actually be built. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And he had a few things that looked pretty similar to like some Apple products.
Oh,
So yeah, that was really really interesting. So who are some artists that you're really into?
uh, Salvador Dali,
Okay.
Leonora Carrington, Robert
Who's
Williams,
who's the second one?
Leonora Carrington. I think she was Max Ernst's girlfriend.
Okay. And you said Robert.
Williams.
Okay.
Uh, had done a lot of the underground comics. He did the original cover for Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction.
That's really really cool. Hey, this is super interesting. Hey, what would you call this style right here?
Surrealist. That's yeah, what I'd call my stuff too, or a lot of it.
Okay. That's super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah. Whoa. This is beautiful.
yeah, I just love what he did with the space sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's a cool mustache too. Like, how do I get one of those? Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Are you into like pop art? Uh like
Yes,
uh like Roy Lichtenstein?
yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's really, really cool. Yeah, the studio I record at is owned by his son,
Oh wow.
yeah, Dave Lichtenstein. So that's it's really, really cool. Yeah, I like his pop art stuff a lot, like that comic book stuff. And
Yeah,
yeah, I
I like
think
pop art too, like the geometric shapes and designs. Some of Escher's work is kind of like that.
okay. Yeah, that's super, super cool. Yeah, whoa. So about how long do you normally spend on art and things like that?
In a day, it varies, can be anywhere from just a few minutes to 12 to 6 to 14 hours most of the day.
Okay. Do you normally have like a time where like you say like this is enough, like you can like get like nitpicky or things like that?
If anything, it'll just be when I'm getting tired, and that's what I like about having my studio in my apartment instead of in a separate location. I can work until I'm like really ready to drop or roll right out of bed or stand up on the mattress and just start working.
That's really, really cool. Yeah, I was asking because in music sometimes I have to like stop myself. I can keep adding and adding to songs, or I can keep changing one little thing about it, and then I'll just say like that's it. I'm just gonna just stop right here and put it out.
Oh,
Yeah. And I hear like I talk to other musicians about this too. Like sometimes you work on something and it's like you're like really, really excited about it, but then you take a break from it and you come back to it and you're like, whoa, this is really, really weird. Or this is not not what I thought it was when I was working on it at the time.
oh.
Yeah. Do you ever face those kind of things?
um, I would say more with writing than with art or drawing.
Okay,
I'd say it happens more with writing.
for sure. So like you do creative writing, like
Yeah, sometimes
okay,
comics because they kind of combine writing with art.
that's super cool. Yeah, that's some really, really cool stuff. Yeah.
Another thing that amazed me about Sun Ra was they said in one of the specials of the past years that he would sometimes stay up for 4 days at a time
Mm-hmm.
working on stuff, and he'd fall asleep at the keyboard, but want the musicians to stay where they were because if they left and he woke up, he didn't like that.
Yeah.
And I don't know how he did it with the so long, staying up that long.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, how do you stay up that long? 4 days. Yeah. What's the longest you
Part
stayed
of the
up?
movie where he kind of starts, it shows him falling asleep at the keyboard. And they have
Yeah.
him take a nap before the show.
Yeah, that's really, really interesting. Yeah, really, really cool guy. Would you consider him a cult leader? Like did it seem a little cultish to you?
Nah, I mean, it's mostly his group was his band. That was about it.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he definitely could have been if he wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, I know he saw a lot because he was in like Birmingham, Alabama in 1914.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same year Virgil Finley was born. Another one of my favorite artists.
He said Virgil Finley.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was the
I'll
one
write
who
that down.
first inspired me to try scratchboard.
That's super cool. That's crazy. And speaking of scratchboard, you played theremin too, right?
Yeah, bought one last summer actually, and I've been practicing on it.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
I want to spend more time with now.
That's really, really cool. Yeah, the theremin is are you starting to get used to where to have your hands?
It's kind of getting there, but it's like not. Yeah, it's tricky to remember to concentrate on both at the same time sometimes.
Yeah. It's like woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, frequencies and stuff like that, especially that you can get really, really precise on which frequencies and stuff you're landing on. And that stuff is really, really important. Like there was a I'm not sure if it's a theory or if it's just going around, but they were saying that A used to be 432 instead of 440.
Oh, a frequency that's something that's natural or what's sounded frequency we're meant to hear sound at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I heard something about that actually at a conference a few years ago. 5D events put it on, and one of my friends was a musician, Casey Berrick, was talking about it. How it's almost every musician has been playing at 440, but we're meant to hear it at 4. Sound is meant to be heard by humans at 432, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Pink Floyd was recording at 432 all along, but most musicians don't, I guess. And I noticed that about the theremin when the frequency was factory preset to 440, and I change it to 432, but it keeps defaulting back to 440, and I have to keep changing it every time I calibrate it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's really really interesting. Yeah, they were saying that Nazi Germany made it into 440 from 432,
Oh,
and I'm wondering why.
yeah, me too. And I hadn't heard that part of it before, but it's, yeah,
Yeah, let
curious
me
about
see.
why that is.
Not let me see. Yeah, conspiracy theory. It says, would you believe that there is a conspiracy theory about the way we tune musical instruments, and that this theory even involves the Nazis, shakas, and whatnot? No.
Not the whatnot part. Definitely not the whatnot part.
It says, then sit down and enjoy perhaps the most ridiculous conspiracy theory of all times. Okay, I'm going to skip. Okay, the usual way to specify a tuning is to give a frequency. Is to give the frequency of a note A with a little 4 on the bottom. The modern standard is A equals 440 hertz, where hertz is a unit meaning per second. So 440 hertz refers to 440 vibrations per second, such as those of a string. To tune to a frequency, a musician would either listen to a tone played by some tuning device and tune by ear, or use an electronic tuner. It says the 432 hertz conspiracy. If you Google 432 hertz, you will find a tremendous number of articles and YouTube videos about the tuning A equals 440 hertz and its presumed healing and soothing properties. If you dig a little bit deeper, you will also find explanation of this phenomenon. Find an explanation of this phenomenon. Presumably, the 432 hertz tuning is in some way tuned to the vibrations of nature itself, whereas the 440 hertz tuning was introduced by Joseph. How would you pronounce that? Goebbels.
Bobos, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi minister of propaganda. So yeah, that's it's really really interesting. Yeah, everybody, this is the site and everything. I'm not just throwing info out there. I'm
Yeah,
letting you guys know where to read this stuff.
there's definitely not enough of the healing and soothing sounds out there now.
Yeah,
Out there, or even at a time like this, we have to listen to so damn many sirens and car horns and alarms,
yeah, for sure.
construction work.
Yeah, frequency is that stuff is really really important. Like
Yeah, sound is powerful as it.
yeah, just the fact that somebody can play like a sad song on the piano and it'll quiet the entire room, or
Yeah,
you can play dark chords and everybody is like up dancing or getting aggressive and things like that. That's really really interesting. Like thinking about that kind of stuff. Yeah. So let me see. What else do I have down here? Uh oh there's a thing that they use for riots and everything. It's called LRAD. You ever check it out? LRAD.
L rat. What is that?
When people like get hostile and like riots and stuff happen, there's this device that they use that throws out this frequency
Oh,
that pretty much makes people like shut down and fall to the ground. Some people run off.
oh, I
Yeah, let
don't.
me see.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of that. They,
Buzzkill. Let me
the
see.
experiments have even been done with using sound waves and frequencies to move objects.
Yeah, that's crazy. Did it work?
Yeah, at least with small objects.
Okay. Yeah, I have to check one of those out too. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear this at all.
What long-range acoustic device systems were able to Red, as it fills a critical gap, how do we determine if they're friendlies or not if they're not responding to radio calls?
When I got in front of the device, I could immediately hear its effectiveness.
This is a test of the long-range acoustic device LRAD. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right, guys, I have to say I'm a little worried walking up here like you're gonna sneak in and turn it back on. Scott, you were the operator on that one.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Right off the bat.
Broadcast
Oh, yeah,
messages to hope get this.
Let me see.
This. So that's what's gotten most of the interest from people out there on the other side. We really don't.
So yeah, they're like using this on crowds and things like that.
Not getting much use now, I guess.
Did you hear the sound in there?
Yeah, I heard it.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, they're like using things like that and on like large crowds and stuff that riot and things like that. So it almost had me wondering if like big record labels and stuff knew about things like that and they knew which frequencies to use to get people to like music.
Or react to it in a strong way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is there something that you know of that's similar to that, but with colors? Like that?
I've maybe heard about it, but like flashing colored lights, but I don't know much about it.
Okay.
Or strobe lights.
Yeah. That's super, super cool. Yeah, I see like seizure warnings and stuff like that when there's gonna be a video with like those kind of lights and stuff going on. So yeah. All right, let me see what else do I got here. Chatty da da da, choppy dappy da, choppy dappy da. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I saw some.
One of my favorite musical genres now is even called stoner rock.
Stoner rock, okay. Let me see. Let me check out some stoner rock. Who's the best person to listen to?
Even though I've been like clean for a really long time. Sleep, Earth, kind of really common, ordinary names that make internet searches really difficult.
Okay.
Was it Sono's another good one? Yeah, that's a good album.
This one right here?
Both of these two right here, yeah.
Holy Mountain and Dope Smoker.
Dope Smoke's like one long track too.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna check these out.
And Electric Wizard's another good band, and yeah, there's a few of them are from the Bay Area too, like High on Fire.
Okay.
From Oakland.
High on Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oakland is such a cool place. Like we got some of the best artists and musicians from out here. And there were a couple music books I was reading too, where the authors of them are from the Bay Area, like Mark Levine, piano book, the jazz piano book. Yeah, he's from out here, and Russell Garcia. It's really, really cool. So it was High on Fire, and the other one was called The Electric
Wizard.
The Electric Wizard, okay. That's super cool. Oh yeah, I'll definitely check these out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by the Trillionaire Meeting podcast. It's been really, really interesting. So where can people find you at, like as far as social media, or do you have any shows or Zoom shows and things like that?
My website is rockyangel.com. I'm on Instagram at rockyangel666 and also on Facebook. And I have an upcoming online show or virtual show in November at Zoe Gallery. It's Dara's new place. She was running Meeson Place, which is the place where we met, the show you're talking about.
Okay. This is really, really cool.
Thanks. Yeah, that one sold at the show there last year.
Okay.
Yeah, I added some forward and back buttons to make navigating easier.
Okay. Oh, for sure.
And that one sold at the Art Parlor in Alameda show last year. It was only its second show.
This is super cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I really like the nudity and everything like that. Just I want to get to the point where I'm comfortable enough to walk outside with no clothes on. I really
It's easier than you think, and that's part of what I feel my purpose here is to liberate the planet, and part of that is what the art does.
Okay. Yeah, that's super cool. Whoa. Oh yeah, I remember seeing this one at the show right here. This is one of the ones I liked. I
Oh,
really liked because math equations and stuff on the board.
oh yeah, that's the model is actually my neighbor's dog, Lake Merritt Polar Bear.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, she bought that one. And there was a
Yeah, this reminds me of David Firth. That
oh,
last one. You ever check out David Firth?
I don't think so. Not maybe I don't. Not that I can remember. I'll look them up afterwards.
Okay, yeah, he has a bunch of cool stuff on YouTube. I think his most famous one is Salad Fingers.
Not familiar with that.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it to you too. I know you. I think you'll enjoy it. It'd be pretty cool. But yeah, this is Rocky's art right here. This is really interesting. You can check it out at rockyangel.com. And yeah, I really appreciate you joining today.
I appreciate the opportunity.
For sure. Oh yeah.